A state fair, car show, petting zoo, rodeo, and more, all wrapped into one event. Come with us as we take you through our day at the State Fair of Texas. Now, before we get going, a little history about the State Fair of Texas. Started in 1886 and is one of the longest running state fairs. The Texas State Fair takes place on 277 acres of land inside of Fair Park in Dallas. It is massive. To put it into perspective how incredibly massive this is, Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World is only 107 acres. The State Fair of Texas is the most attended state fair in the country with 2.25 million people visiting annually. And it's known for its staggering amount of and creative fried food options. Now let's talk about price. The average admission to the State Fair of Texas, if you want a flexible ticket, that's a ticket that can get you in on any day, will run you about $24 per adult, but there are discounts galore. If you pick a specific date, the price is cheaper. You can go to a McDonald's and get a coupon to have a cheaper ticket. There are multiple food bank donations you can make to get a cheaper ticket. There's all sorts of ways to get discounted tickets across the website. You can also get a bundle like we did where they'll give you $50 in tickets for food and rides with the admission fee, which comes out cheaper than if you were to pay full price. But more on that in a second. Now let's go to the fair. We entered Fair Park and we're ready to take on our entire day at the State Fair of Texas. You hear stories and watch YouTube videos and see TV shows about how big the fair is, but upon entering, let me tell you, it is humongous. The entrance we came in was nothing but rides as far as the eye could see. First thing we did was stop at the coupon stand and redeem our $50 in food and ride coupons that came with our ticket purchase. You can also purchase additional coupons as well at this time. And let me tell you, you're probably going to need them. Now these coupons are the currency used by the entire fair. Yes, that means the fair is cashless. You can use cash, but you will use it to buy coupons to then use at the bars, stands, and rides. One ticket is equal to $1, so when you see that 13-ticket corn dog, yes, it is $13. There are kiosks legitimately everywhere around Fair Park waiting to take your cash or debit. As you would expect at the largest fair in the country, the State Fair of Texas has legitimately every fair ride you can imagine. From swings, to slides, to this type of ride, to that type of ride, haunted houses, foam, they have it all. But after riding a couple rides with my kids, I started to do some big text math in my head, and things were looking expensive for the day as far as rides and everything for that matter goes, and we had just started. Now let me break this down. Now this is not meant to discourage you from attending, this is merely laying it out for you realistically as a family. Now the average ride was about 8 to 10 tickets, which, as we said a second ago, is $1 a ticket. 8 tickets times 3 of us is about $24 just to go around in circles on a swing for 90 seconds, which really puts it into perspective the day ahead, and needless to say, I started sitting some rides out.
For that reason, I'm out.
It's inevitable that my 11-year-old and my 9-year-old are going to want to go on at least 5 rides, and even that's being modest. And mind you, this isn't even taking into account lunch or dinner, which will also be ticket-based. So we're talking 5 rides times 2 kids is $80 alone, and that's not even taking into account the 15-ticket roller coasters, while also not forgetting each kid was about $15 each. I cannot stress enough how important it is to budget consciously when attending the State Fair of Texas, as cash is just a vacuum if you're not paying attention. Now, the standout of the entire event is the food. The showcase of food at the State Fair of Texas can only be described in one word, and not even in a bad way: overwhelming. There's so many food options, there's no way you can even eat everything you would want in a day, let alone locate it. I knew that I was going to have a long day, so I didn't partake in anything too crazy as to not leave a big text of my own in the restrooms. I did, however, partake in a fried cheesecake to get the day going, which wasn't terrible, but a little disappointing to know it's basically a Little Debbie chucked in a fryer rather than an actual cheesecake. But maybe I'm expecting too much for 9 tickets. Another really cool aspect of the State Fair of Texas that we didn't know about or expect was the Texas Auto Show that takes place within the fair. Featuring all the big automakers in a big air-conditioned space, this is a great way to get out of the sun and learn about upcoming vehicles in the industry. When we went, the big standout car that year was the Hummer EV, and they had one on full display that you could hop into, check out the dash and everything. They even have bars inside the space for while you walk around in real bathrooms all within the auditorium, which is a huge tip to keep in mind, as a large majority of the bathrooms at the fair are porta potties. Okay, so we left the auto show, I grabbed some cheese curds on the way, and we grabbed our seats for the famous pig races. This is surely something you do not want to miss, and is apparently a State Fair of Texas staple for the kids. And I can say I have definitely never seen anything like it.
Well, with the former State Fair champion, I'm telling you, when he is in
in prime, he weighed 25 pounds. And now Dan Wilbur weighs 1,025 pounds. He's feeling good, yeah. Right. He can bring them little punks on. Shake those shakers!
We made our way out of the pig races, we grabbed a bucket of fries, and headed to the petting zoo. Featuring mostly goats, llamas, and alpacas, this area was really fun, and there's a ton of animals. You pay a small fee for a little amount of feed, and then you can feed it directly to the animals. Neighboring the petting zoo, they have what is the equivalent of the local 4-H club selling livestock, and my daughter found out pretty quick that this was, in fact, not a petting zoo. Just when I thought I had literally seen everything there is to see at the State Fair of Texas, they have a full-blown rodeo coliseum with a show. The rodeo was entertaining, but to be able to take a seat was even more amazing. The coliseum is open all day for you to come into and take a seat, so it's a great escape as seating in the main areas can be tricky on busier days, and they have real bathroom stalls and not portable restrooms. And this is a real rodeo. These are real professional rodeos coming through and putting on an exhibition for the State Fair of Texas. There's different companies all the time. You have to check the website for what events are happening in the Rodeo Coliseum, but it is almost every day of the fair there is a rodeo at 6:30 p.m. We walked right out of the Rodeo Coliseum and were greeted by the Starlight Nighttime Parade, which we watched for a bit before making our way to Reflection Pond for the nightly fireworks that begin at 8 p.m., which is a mix of water and fireworks. Very cool and worth making it a point to go to. Alright, the fireworks were over and my body was about to shut down from exhaustion when we had our way back to where we started, and I still had some tickets to burn, so I said, let's burn my stomach to the ground and get the corn dog of the fair, a Fletcher's corn dog. I went with the jalapeno corn dog, and it was insanely good. Highly recommend. Added on to the stomach destruction with another fair standout, a chicken sandwich from Palmer's, very good as well. Extremely hearty and big and worth the ticket amount. I can't recall how much the corn dog or the chicken sandwich were, but I want to say they were about between 12 and 15 tickets each, but they were very filling. Okay, so to wrap it all up, the State Fair of Texas is an amazing local event. We had an absolute blast and talked fondly of our time in Dallas at the fair. If you start comparatively considering the prices of the State Fair of Texas for the level of quality of ride you're getting compared to our hometown of Walt Disney World, yeah, guess what? It's not even close experience-wise, even if you are paying almost the same price, and that's okay, which is why I said the State Fair of Texas is an amazing local event. The food options are endless, as are the drinks, and just things to do in general. There are so many activities we didn't even touch base on or see, like the dog stunt show, the Budweiser Clydesdales, or being able to feel the power of a Corvette. You get behind the wheel on a live track where they actually let you get behind the wheel of a car and test out a Corvette there's all kinds of cars they have. It was SUVs, but everybody wanted to drive the Corvette, and we didn't actually get to do that, but that is a thing. The biggest hump for us was the amount of money you can spend between rides, foods, and drinks. Those things go fast, so be prepared. I do believe on certain days rides are half price, which would take a lot of heat off the wallet. People that can drive to this event below $300 and drive back to their own home, yes, please, totally worth every dollar. But should you travel to the State Fair of Texas from out of state? Only if you're ready to pay for that hotel and possible airfare on top of an expensive day at the fair. If you got it, totally worth it. Worth going broke for? Not exactly. One thing is absolutely sure, everything is in fact bigger in Texas, and the State Fair is no exception.